Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. We have a very real and serious topic. The production of silver, the global production, has been being cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces, which means that the demand will not be able to be met with the supply, which will in return shoot prices up. So people were thinking this is a theory or this is just speculative and it's not as drastic, but the silver production for the full year was cut back by 27%. And these are actual statistics. This is information, and I have two articles that are explaining it and diving a little deeper into it. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. So Endeavor Silver full year precious metals production drops 27%. Endeavor Silver said full year production for both gold and silver production has dropped 27% on year-to-year basis. The mid-tier Mexican miner announced its quarter four Friday. In 2019, the company's full year production was 4.018 million ounces of silver and 38,907 ounces of gold. A number of the company's mines fell short, and this is because they don't see silver as profitable. They really are looking more towards lead, gold, and zinc, but it even says that gold has dropped as well. Now, Mexico, Peru, Chile, China, Australia, those are the main and the major silver producers, but they've been abandoning silver mines, and a lot of silver is found by bypassing, by accident, basically. So, a number of the company's mines fell short. In November, El Cubo mine was put on temporary care and maintenance when exploration programs failed to replace reserves and find new resources. Final closure is being evaluated. And it also is pretty hard to find silver. I mean, a lot of people think that silver is extremely common, but it's really not. It really is not that common, especially compared to gold. The gold to silver ratio, yes, is extremely high, but that puts people at a screwed perspective to think that silver is much more common than gold. It only comes out of the ground roughly 8-1, and it's actually lower than that because a lot of silver is lost in technology when gold is recycled and re-scrapped, remelted. A lot of people, scrap their gold jewelry and stuff like that, but silver is not as commonly used for that because it's not as profitable. So anyways, in quarter four, both the Giovanci and the El Campos mines had poor results. El Campos had lower grades due to ore body variation. At El Balonitos mine, output declined year-to-year basis because the mine plan had to be resequenced to allow for blending of high and low arsenic ores. The company said the mine was then plagued with equipment availability issues and the mine development fell behind. So, not only is it trying to find geologically where the silver is, but also the manpower to get it out the ground is harder as well, and it fell behind. And this is serious stuff because we need silver production to be rising, not falling, especially since the last 7 years we've been cutting back silver production by the hundreds of millions of ounces, and this is going to catch up to us. When the demand of silver rises, naturally, as it does and as it will, especially as the price starts to rise, and from stock market volatility, new people coming into the markets are going to want a chunk, especially once they see the intrinsic and the fundamental value and uses it has, especially as we go into the digital age. This is going to catch up with us. We already see industries paying premiums. So the GeoNet, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but it was a bright spot. Endeavor said operational changes improve mine outputs and allows access to higher grade ores. So, the company's performance last year was negatively impacted by operating issues at all 4 mines, said Cook. We made sweeping changes to the mining operations in quarter 2 and quarter 3, and as a result, we are finally seeing production turning around. So Endeavor expects higher production at each of its 3 mines in 2020. But don't take that for granted, because we're 7 years in the hole. We've been cutting back production for the last 7 years. So we're basically 14 years behind, because not only do we have to make up the last 7 years, we also in 7 years will finally be breaking even. This is not going to be easy because it takes 7 years to get 7 years, right? So in 7 years, we'll finally be breaking even. So we're basically 14 years behind on production. And by that time, who knows where silver is going to be? Who knows where the demand is going to be? I mean, look how much more digital we're becoming. Amazon's is going to be making low-flying satellites, giving internet to the entire world. So we're going, and silver is needed in cell phones. It's needed in satellites. It's needed in solar panels. So think about how much more silver is going to be needed when the supply won't be met because of the situations we're reading right now, like production being cut back or not being able to meet its needs. Interesting things. I'm very, very bullish on silver for the next upcoming years for these reasons and many more reasons. This is only one of the several reasons. Not only talking about the dollar deflation, not only talking about the intrinsic value that silver has or the undervalued aspect it has compared to gold. So many different things. So we continue to advance our Terronera and parallel projects with additional engineering trade-off studies completed for Terronera and continued exploration drilling at Parral during the fourth quarter. A final updated pre-feasibility study of Terronera is completed, and this month an initial preliminary economic assessment at Parral is expected in Q1 of 2020. Endeavor Silver was up 1% Friday. So, interesting. Now, we've talked about why this is going to affect prices, but this is the numbers. So if you just thought could be speculative, if you thought this could be some, theory or it's not as dramatic or anything, this is real stuff. So, Endeavor Silver Corp reports production of 4 million silver ounces and 38,000 ounces of gold. Equivalent production to 7.1 million ounces at 80-to-1 ratio. Silver production in the fourth quarter 2019 was 939,000 ounces and gold was production at 9,578 ounces. That's the equivalent silver production at 1.7 million ounces. Silver and gold production was lower in Q4 compared to Q4 2018 due to suspension of mining, which we talked about during the quarters and throughout the throughout the grades. But it was partly offset at higher production and new production at El Compass. The company withdrew its revised guidance in Q4, and the silver production missed low range of revised guidance by 4%, and the gold missed the low range revised 2019 production guidance by 2%. Silver equivalent production was slightly lower in Q4 compared to Q3 2019. So, the two operations could return to become profitable. Continued improvement of tons mined, ore grades, and ounce produced are anticipated in 2020. So, this is interesting. Here's some of the numbers. Production highlights for the fourth quarter 2019 compared to the fourth quarter 2018. So, here's the 2018. Silver production decreased 32%. Gold production decreased 27%. So, now here's the fiscal for 2019. Silver production decreased 27% year on year to 4,018,735 ounces. Gold production decreased 27% year on year to 38,907 ounces. So here's a table showing everything. This is real stuff. And it's honestly, it's interesting, and it can be a little scary, because when we talk about supply and demand, that is probably the biggest influencer on any investment, any asset you're investing in. Supply and demand is one of the most influential things that can move a price upwards or downwards. And for this situation, this instance, it's going to be moving prices upwards. If you go back to 2011 when silver was $50, these situations weren't even happening to this degree. What pushed silver to $50 in the last 30 years, silver was $50 twice, was stock market volatility, recession looming, things like that. But now we have a potential war coming. We have the U.S.-China trade negotiations. We have very, very, very low production becoming very apparent when the supply or the demand is going to be needed. So this stuff could easily push prices a lot higher. I'm very bullish. I'm not going to try to mislead you and say silver could be $100 by next year. That's definitely unrealistic. It definitely could breach the $20, $30 range, especially given all the instances, all the circumstances at play and on the table. But this is just something, this is just another thing, another slice of the pie that could easily affect prices. So I just wanted to share this with you. I didn't go over all the numbers and everything in this article because it is long and I try to keep my videos in a timely manner. So if you did want to check it out, the link to these two articles will be in the description. I'm going to wrap this video up here. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'm curious what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that this is going to be hurting prices, or do you think since they are going to try to up production in 2020, this could kind of settle things down? But I definitely don't think that's realistic because we are already 7 years in the hole and we have a lot of catching up to do. So curious what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.